Hello, beautiful soul, and thank you so much for joining me on this amazing adventure today. My name is Kristen Blair, and I'm going to be sharing with you my travel adventures from the United States to England. And this trip, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my personal journey, my growth and experience, as well as some fun along the way. So I wanted to start off by first thanking you so much for joining me and watching this video, and for just allowing yourself the space to truly come along with me, be a part of the journey, and I invite you to utilize this as a meditation in your own space to be able to connect with your dreams, your desires, your passions for life, and hopefully we can leave this space feeling inspired and encouraged to move on our path in the place that we feel called to go. And so, here we go. Whenever we were discussing different ideas and different opportunities, we really wanted to connect with soul family. So when I spoke to Jen about being able to go to England and meet some of these amazing people, Jen, of course, was 100% on board and excited to expand into international waters. So why are we going from the United States to the UK? Well, you see, I have an amazing opportunity to meet with two of my teachers and mentors, Master K as well as Sifu Bagi. So I'm going to be spending a week in the UK working with my teachers, deepening my connection with Reiki, as well as understanding of Qigong, and being able to travel to a few different amazing sites within the UK, and being able to connect with my ancestors, my higher self, and I think most importantly, this here and now moment. While I was preparing for my journey, I didn't know what to think. I had no idea how everything was going to work out. There were a lot of really big ideas and inspirations that we were planning on following through with, but the question remained, how were we going to get there? And what was it going to be like? I've spent so much time dreaming of the places that I desire to go and seeing the life that I know I am here to live. But it takes a really special place and time, divine time really, to take those steps and move yourself forward in the direction that your heart and soul are calling you to go. And it takes courage to release the fear and trust in the process. So, with my inner compass and my soul family by my side, I prepared to get ready for one of the greatest adventures of my life. As we are T-minus 24 hours and counting out from leaving the United States to visit the UK. As I traveled through the airports on my journey, I saw so many beautiful things that really inspired me and helped me to understand the communities in which we live, and understanding that even though we all live in our own individual spaces with all of the things going on in our individual days, we still exist as this collective of the human race. And though we are all very unique and different by design, we each have a beautiful and special gift to share in this lifetime with this world. Our inspirations and our ideas, when we follow through with action, brings magic into this world, unlike anything that exists outside of you. The divine is working each day to send you the courage and the motivation and the inspiration to live an amazingly inspired life, created and designed just for you. Our daily distractions and our behavior patterns created from our upbringing and our pasts can make it feel like some great task to accomplish, to overcome, to be able to just find this place of peace. But I encourage you to take a minute and look around and notice the beauty in the spaces that you share with others and in the spaces you create for yourself. I'm going to meet the love of my life, and I don't know how it's going to go, and I'm so nervous. I'm excited beyond belief because I've been dreaming of this. I've been dreaming of this forever, it seems, and it's happening. I will be getting on a plane and meeting him in 24 hours. So one of my main goals was to be able to meet with my dear soul friend and my teacher, my best friend, and someone who I loved more than anything in the world, and had nothing but inspiration of being able to connect with in person in this lifetime, and that's my dear Master K. The moment we met was something out of a dream, I know. I saw him and I recognized him within my soul. And we shared a moment that brought together timelines of love, growth, and understanding. We shared a magical time together, reconnecting our souls and igniting the inner children within, and remembering what it is to have a love to share this beautiful life with. I want to share a little bit with you about my time with Master K. The days that we spent together were nothing short of magical. He is somebody who I've looked up to for years. He's somebody who has guided me through many of my darkest days and offered me support and inspiration when I felt like my light was almost but out. Master K is somebody who taught me a lot about trauma and pain and suffering and our ability to cope, our ability to overcome. And he taught me to see the love that I have within myself and how it manifests as strength, as inspiration, as peace. And so meeting him was something that I had no expectations. I knew that in my heart I had all of these feelings, all of these hopes, all of these desires and goals and things that I, wanted to be able to come forward and to share, but I was open to exactly what it needed to be, and I trusted Spirit would guide it, as it always does. And so upon meeting Master K, I melted and all of my walls fell to the ground. Anything that I had had in my back of my mind that I was worrying about had disappeared because this man was absolutely wonderful. He is everything that I had come to know. You know, whenever you have somebody in your life that you work with, that you learn from, that you grow from, it's a really unique experience to meet them in person. And this is not only somebody that I grow from, but somebody that I had deep love for. Um, Over the years, I had found a very special place in my heart for Master K as a friend, as somebody who I could lean on and who would be there, and that it didn't have to be complicated, or it was allowed to just simply be what it was and what it needed to be for one another. And I was so excited knowing that I had the opportunity to come and experience his energy in real life, in person. And that was the most magical opportunity of all. So we met, we fell in love, we played around in all of the most magical places of England. Plymouth, we went down to the coast and we saw the shore, and we shared a pasty and a tea, a cider at the pub. We walked along the shore, we heard the sea at night, we watched the sunset. We learned a lot about one another, saw the humanness that we both hold. I realized how much I take for granted the people in my life each day that I get the chance to share my experiences with, and the people who love me and cherish me enough to listen to my thoughts and my feelings. And on this trip, I realized that even though we have days where we feel overwhelmed and unloved or not supported, we really are perfectly designed and exactly where we are meant to be in our lives. And that although it's easy to doubt our path and our purpose and how we choose to show up each day, I just implore you to lean into the trust. And even when you feel like there's no trust to be found, call it in anyways. You have this one life to live. How are you going to choose to fill it with memories, with inspirations, with special, unique, here and now moments that you have the chance to create and share magic with others in this world? And how will you dream of who you have yet to become? This world is waiting for you, and all of the many adventures that you have yet to entertain, I promise you, are just as excited for you to show up and play as you are to be there. And each and every day is a brand new opportunity for you to see yourself with loving and authentic eyes, and to hold compassion for your path and for others alike. You see, we're not always going to agree or get along or think the same. In fact, I hope we don't. That's what keeps this life so interesting. And that's what gives us all these opportunities to grow. And for me to expand my consciousness, my awareness of understanding not only what's happening in my world, but what's happening in yours, now that is a gift. And I implore you, dear soul, to dream up this world, to give yourself the opportunity to think outside the box, to challenge your comfort zone, to give yourself space to push yourself harder and farther than you've ever gone before, because if only for this one life you have the chance to do so. And what can you do when you choose to show up each day with love in your heart and the desire to play? And who might you inspire along the way? And then we got to go to Glastonbury, which is where I got this amazing hat. And Glastonbury was really cool because it was very vibey, lots of spiritual people, lots of, crystals and fairies and magic just everywhere. Glastonbury was really, really special. We got to go to a place called the Chalice Wells. And the Chalice Wells was very healing, very peaceful, very grounded. The energy there was, like I said, we went on Embolic, so it was, or the day before the coming of the sun. And so everybody there was in celebration of brighter days. And it was cool to see a whole community celebrating something that when I walk through my community, most don't even know about, or a very accepting space, very cool. And the wells, they were very healing. The water that we got from there, we got the chance to feel the coolness of the water, and it's a natural copper spring. And so I think that was one of the things about the energy there, was that it was very grounding, is like not even the right word. It was like energizing and grounding all at the same time. It was really beautiful. And there's also a really, really cool shop in town that sells crystals that I got a chance to buy. So got a fairy outfit, got some crystals, and had an opportunity to share some laughs and a little bit of magic with the person that I absolutely adore and cherish in this world. And from there, we went on and we shared the rest of our journey with Soul Family. And it was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. It was truly amazing. It was very special. It was a very special trip.
That way. Okay.
Okay.
So if we walk down, and then we walk up that way, and then because we're gonna have a drink over here.
There are signs and symbols and synchronicities and everything. The universe is always speaking to you.
Oh, so we're looking right.
Fairyland. We're gonna have to go in there.
Oh yeah, no, we're going up that side, so we're going down this way. Now we're going up that side. Yeah.
It's not so important to always worry or wonder what other people are thinking or how they're viewing you. Rather, how do you choose to see yourself? How do you perceive your reality and everything that's happening within it? Can you open your heart to see that we are not so different, you and me? Although we come from a different place and our hair grows from a different place, our hearts and our minds are connected as one in this universal energy of love. And for all of the experiences that I have yet to encounter, I know that you also are seeking those moments of adventure to grow and expand your soul. And maybe, just maybe, somewhere along our paths, you and I will cross, and we will share a magical moment that will change the direction of both of our paths as we know it. And along the way, if you find yourself falling astray, take a moment, laugh and play about where you are in life, because it's your choice today to move forward in a new direction. And although sometimes we choose to go in directions that are not necessarily exactly where we desire, we always learn lessons of how to overcome and how strong we are to be able to become. There's peace you see in any given moment. You must seek it out. It's always right there, hiding behind your overthinking, your worrying, your planning. Somewhere there in the middle where everything gets quiet. There. There it is, the peace you've been looking for all along, right inside of you. And don't worry about those mistakes. They helped you overcome. And really, nothing truly is a mistake because we are all part of the universal creation, made perfect in design. And you are part of this beautiful collective that we share in this world and this life. And it is your right to find what peace looks like to you. It is your destiny to fulfill the adventures that you dream of doing. And you are more than worthy of connecting with the love that you are so deserving of. During my visit in the UK, we spent time going to Glastonbury and seeing the Chalice Wells, which is what you are seeing here in this picture. And this is a natural spring that contains copper. And copper has many beautiful healing properties that work great for the body and connecting the mind and purifying toxins. We then headed over to the famous Stonehenge structure and had the amazing opportunity to really connect with the history of the land and taking our time. We didn't have a large group out there with us, so we were able to create a very sacred trip to these statues. And the energy in this space was palpable from miles and miles away. And so getting a chance to connect myself and set some really powerful intentions was an amazing experience. You know, it always leaves you to question the unknown and that which we are told. But I always believe our intuition guides us, and we know more than we give ourselves credit for. It was the day of the light returning in Balak, and it also happened to be the 2/2 portal day. And when we got to Stonehenge, it was strange because it was like there really wasn't a lot of people there. We kind of had the place to ourselves. It was really quiet and peaceful and almost eerie. Like we're walking up to Stonehenge, and you kind of imagine what it's going to be, right? You've seen the pictures, you kind of have an idea of what you're getting into, and it was nothing like what I expected. It was quiet. It was so quiet. And there were ravens everywhere. I mean, it was insane. We get off of the bus, we walk out, there's these ravens everywhere. There's a sheep field way over there, and then you see Stonehenge, and it's not nearly as big as you see in the pictures. It almost just looks like some rocks hanging out in a farmer's field, just being. And there's these huge mounds that are around the area as well. And so anyways, there's lots of history on Stonehenge. I highly suggest you look it up. But we had the opportunity to hope to have a small meditation between just the four of us. My soul family, Becca, who's amazing and lovely in every way, and she has some pretty amazing podcasts herself about using your voice and the power that you hold. And so Becca was there with us, and we got the opportunity to sit and have a meditation. And the stones themselves were strange, because you could tell there was this vibrational energy coming off of them that was just like I said, the air was still, it was quiet, it was dense. It was like, if you've ever been to a memorial site, it was like that kind of energy. But something about it, you just couldn't help but stand in awe. Like, you looked at these rocks and you wonder, all of the mystery behind them and how they get there, and what actually happened, and what's really going on here is the millions of things that are going through your mind. And then you just stop and you look, and there's a crow standing on top of the rocks, just cawing at you, and there's a sheep over in the field bleating and bleat like bah, bleating, and and you realize that life is so much more simple than we make it. It's like this beautiful, amazing structure can just simply be, and it's magical just by being, just by existing. And it doesn't matter if I know how it got there, or what it's doing, or why it's around. I can just appreciate it for what it is. We did have an amazing meditation on the outer circle. We walked just a bit away from the stones and found a place to sit in the field. And as we began to breathe for the meditation, we all became very synchronized, and we dropped our energy down into the earth and connected with the stones and had a gorgeous meditation, got lots of inspiration. And it was beautiful after we finished the meditation. As we were breathing in and exhaling, there was a loud boom. Inhale. Boom. And one more inhale. And the exhale, boom. And we all heard it and felt it, and it is what it is. Like I said, we don't have to know. We can just be grateful for having the experience, for sharing what we had with one another. And the best part, I think, about the meditation was that we all had different wisdom that came to us, but we all had the shared experience of feeling the warmth and the love that washed over us when we began for our meditation. It was incredible. There was just this warm energy that almost filled our bodies and radiated through us as we went through the meditation. And yeah, it was very special. It was very beautiful. We grounded in and connected with the earth and opened up our energy fields to those around us. And we invited in our energy to the space and allowed whatever messages were meant to come forward for each of us. After we completed the meditation, checking in with each person having a unique and different response on the message that Stonehenge left for them today. We connected deeply with our ancestors in this space. There was a lot of ancient wisdom passed along, and there was just something really special about being able to experience this energy with one another.
Warm back then? Because I want you to see it. Stonehenge. I mean, it's been down. And it feels 16. Okay. Anyway, you look great. There's going to be more.
After visiting Stonehenge, we took our adventure to Highclere Castle, the place where Downton Abbey was filmed. But we had the opportunity to explore the grounds, and again, this place was magical. You could feel the energy of the trees, and it was almost as though you could see the many gatherings that had happened over the millennium in these gardens. And seeing this place, we were able to understand the history of how things truly change. And although on the outside this building has looked the same for hundreds of years, the purpose and function has changed. Deliberate for each user, for each time period, appropriate. But I guess the biggest thing I learned from this place was to honor the passing of time and who we have been, and the amount of pride that that can give us. And with that pride, we can draw strength to continue forward and to inspire others as we go. So anyways, from there we went to Highclere Castle, which is a super fun place for Downton Abbey lovers, and we got to see a lot of really cool historical sites in there, and all of the energies in that place were pretty crazy too. It was insane because for me, as somebody that I connect with spirits and ghosts and energies of all kinds, and so being in a place that was that old, that had that much wisdom, and just in general spirits that have lived there, it was so insane because there was just like layers upon layers of history and energy and people that had been there and what the building had been, and it was almost like it was very much like the evolution of a soul, almost like the house had become, or it was a mansion, a castle, all kinds of things. And so it was almost like, it had experienced its own journey of becoming, and all of the lives and experiences that it hosted along the way was incredible. But Highclere Castle was absolutely gorgeous. The grounds were beautiful. The trees were huge. They were ginormous. The hedges were Anyways, don't. I asked the gateskeeper if they knew how old the hedges were, so don't mind me while I honor the trees of the space and the spirits that live there. But yeah, Highclere Castle was super cool. They had I think the coolest, the best, my favorite part, anyways. We had high tea, and we got to all have our cafe with our tea cakes and all of that, which was super super fun. But we also got to experience King Tutankhamun's grave. Essentially, the pharaoh was found by the person that owned the castle, I think 3 decades ago, somewhere in there. Anyways, so that was super cool to be able to see the connection between that and to see the Egyptian heritage. Really sad we didn't get to take any pictures inside the castle or inside the exhibit, but I will tell you that the coolest part inside the exhibit was King Tut's sarcophagus was uncovered, right? And so we got to see inside of it. They had moved, the body was outside, and you could see all of the decorations on the inside. And if you know anything about Egyptian history, you know that a lot of it is like symbols or words. Scribes like the letters of the dead, or from the Book of the Dead, to be able to help assist them as they move on. And so there's stuff like, cows and sheep and the things that the water and bread and the different things that they would need in the afterlife. But there's also instructions for them as well. And one of the coolest things was seeing the body was actually a female. Like the body that was painted on the bottom of the sarcophagus was actually a female instead of a male. So I'm not really sure what that's about. I've got to look into that. But anyways, loved the exhibit, loved the castle, loved the connection, and being able to see how things in this world are interconnected in many, many different ways.
You see, while we were in London, I thought we were anxious and overwhelmed, and I genuinely thought that we had kind of a tough time in London. But looking back on it, I am just so happy we had the opportunity to go. And even just seeing Big Ben reminded me of my childhood and the memories I have of watching Peter Pan and how magical it was to see it. And what if it was me being pulled off into the night? Gave me a chance to dream again. And although the energies were very overwhelming and we had a bit of a tough time getting through, London, I will forever be grateful for you.
You want video?
No, just.
You got it on video.
What? What?
After visiting Highclere Castle, we headed straight to London and spent the evening playing in the city streets, getting a chance to see Big Ben and the Thames. We even had an opportunity to buy some trinkets off a street vendor who gave us a run for our money but kept the experience interesting. I think one of the hardest things for me in London was to recognize that although the energies around us will have an effect on us, we do have the choice to interact with those energies and how much we allow those energies to affect our experience.
All right, this is going to be about London. London was a whole nother experience. London was unlike anything I could have expected. London was busy and loud. I drove us through London, and when we arrived, our hotel was a little bit less than what we expected it to be. We had booked the Park Plaza Hotel in downtown London, and we were so excited. We had a Big Ben view from the hotel room, and it was so cool because London was like a turning point for the trip. We had been in kind of our own little worlds. You know, MK and I had our space and our time, and Jen and Tim had their space and their time. They went to Paris. They had an amazing time. And then, you know, Becca and Jen and Tim and I, we all got to kind of share our own things. And so London was the point where we all came together. And it was also really hectic. It was very... We were exhausted by the time we got to London. We had been going pretty much nonstop every day, and we had high expectations that were just simply not met. And so London, for me, was the greatest teacher of the trip because I saw a lot about myself that I forgot existed. I spent 8 years in business management, owning different companies, managing different organizations, and like vastly different organizations, everything from newspaper to liquor stores to video games, and lots of experience doing many different things, working with customers essentially. And I was a completely different person in that point in my life. I was very business oriented. I was very focused and driven, and I was a big stickler for the rules, and I knew how to get things done. I was great at it, but it wasn't in alignment with my soul. And so London brought out everything that was not in alignment. And it was funny because we got to London and we experienced what we did. We went through the hotel scenario, and everybody learned what we learned. And trust me, it was messy, and just be glad you weren't there. But, you know, there was this point of surrender that we all experienced that was just like palpable in the room. You know, it was like, we've just got to let go of what we thought London was going to be, of what we thought this situation was going to be for us to experience, and let's just be here now. Let's experience what we can do. And it's funny because for me, I'm somebody who shares this message all the time with people, but when I was in a situation where I was really triggered and really stuck in kind of a past, you know, how I would handle things in the past, and I had to really confront that part of myself and sit with it and be like, oh, okay, I see you. I love you. I accept you. I allow you to release the need to control. And it was like that, everything changed, and we immediately were able to just kind of enjoy the rest of London, which was short and sweet and beautiful. And we got to walk along the Thames at night, and we went and saw Big Ben, and had fish and chips at a restaurant there, and it was lovely. It was a beautiful time, but it was just very, very educational for all of us, I think. So yes, London was gorgeous, and then we moved on to Setcops Farms, off to the retreat, off to see Sifu and Els and Setcops, and it was gorgeous. The drive there was difficult, lots of motorways. I learned how to drive in many different situations that I felt empowered in, so that was good. But we arrived at Setcops, we got settled in, and we went about the retreat. And I see the retreat as really kind of what I wanted to be doing the whole time. what I was like, the retreat was the part of the journey where we all just accepted the peace of what is, and we all just kind of fell into the present moment, and we're like, where we were, we accepted ourselves, and what we wanted to do, we accepted that too. You know, we honored our bodies, and everybody kind of just moved forward. But it was cool. The retreat was very special, getting to hold space with Sifu, and I think I was just in a magical daze the entire first 24 hours, because I had Sifu over here and MK over here and Jen and Tim and Els and these other amazing souls that I had just met that were soul family for sure. And it was just so surreal being next to people physically who I had felt so connected with online, and to be able to share this space with one another. And it just feel like it had always been that way. It just no time had passed, but we had just been here, and it had always been that way. And It was amazing. And we all learned from each other. There was no ego in the room. We were all just soul family sharing space, learning and growing and sharing unconditional love. And it was magical.
My greatest teachers have typically been those that I have not sought out, but rather have found me. And that is the perfect way to describe our trip to London. It was the greatest teacher of my trip. And it also helped me remember that I really do enjoy the peace and quiet and tranquility of the countryside. We bid London adieu and prepared ourselves for the upcoming trip that we had planned to see seafood boggy out at Setcops Farms and to attend our very first retreat overseas.
Master K is somebody who I connected with whenever I was on my path towards becoming a Reiki master. And I was just completing my first Reiki certificate, and I was feeling absolutely elated and so excited to be on my path and on my journey and doing the things that I felt called, following my heart and my intuition. And I was lacking in confidence and courage and the ability to really follow through for myself. I had never really stepped up much in my life for myself. In fact, only recently had I been. And so Master K, when I met him, was just the catalyst I needed to continue moving along my path, as well as to dive deeper. We went over lessons in so many different topics about shamanism and soul retrieval and quantum healing and manifestation, and it was so much more expansive than what I had already learned. And so his knowledge and his wisdom and his ability to just continue to inspire others led me into my path and on my journey to meeting Sifu Boggy. And Sifu came into my life just at the time where I was really looking for something a bit more. Like, I had been, honing in on my Reiki skills, and it was a deeply spiritual practice that I was so grateful to be working on and building. But I was looking for something that I could connect my physical world with, and Qigong was just the perfect mesh, the best mold I could have asked. And Qigong with Sifu Boggy changed my life in so many ways. We experienced an ability to see in myself something that I had not before, and that was an inner knowing. Qigong was something that just came so naturally to me. Not only did I feel drawn to it, but I felt confident and comfortable and began to learn more about my body. And in so many ways that I had restricted myself in the past, I began to see new doors opening, new opportunities coming forward. Being able to have the opportunity to go to England and meet with these two amazing teachers that have guided me so much was just absolutely even more inspiring. And then to top it all off, I had the opportunity to end the space in a retreat hosted by nobody other than my dear Sifu Boggy. And so to be able to go and have a retreat with him was amazing. We had Reiki, there was sound healing, there was meditation, there was tarot, there was laughter. It was expansive in so many ways, and I'm so grateful for the opportunities that we had to be able to share. And I hope that you enjoy the videos that I provide here, the space for you to be able to really share the experience and feel like you're there. Sifu's got a lot of wisdom to share and always has inspiration to offer. Here is where I will insert the video for you to be able to join us at the retreat, and I will catch you on the flip side. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you all in just a little bit.
Said, I've got to learn 10,000 things so I can teach everybody else 5. Which I always thought was a little bit unfair, but it was the idea is that it is, and one of my fellow seafooders of my school, Seafood Baz, he would say, Seafood Boggy, he treats you like a wall, he throws 100 things at you and sees what sticks. The whole idea is that there's lots of different ways to do, there's lots of different ways to peel a banana, and the whole idea is I find the right one for you. So when it comes to Qigong and the energy work and whatnot, I find little ways to help you. The Taoist way is the more skills you have, the more you can adapt to society. So you'll always be an advantage to society. In the East, in Japan and in China, Reiki and Hatsuei-ho, or Hatsuei-ho is Qigong, and Reiki in China it's Shunshi Shen and Qigong, or in Japan it's Hatsuei-ho and Reiki. They're intertwined. You never do one without the other, and they're actually all interlinked. So they work with energies and everything. The idea is not to win. The idea is actually to learn from what you're doing. So my teachers did this. My teachers would do this thing. They would put me against. I did Eastern martial arts competitions, where it was knock them out the ring or knock them out. That was basically the 2 rules. And they put me against people that I had slim to no chance of beating. But the idea was to learn lessons of, learn that style, how do you get around that style, how you learn to defeat that style. So the idea of the competition wasn't for me to win, it was for me to learn how to not get defeated next time.
I learned a lot on my trip while I was in the UK, a lot about myself and how I interact with others, but most of all I learned the beauty of being present in this now moment and truly allowing yourself to enjoy the presence of the company that you're with, the beauty in the spaces that surround you, and to just allow a moment of awe for the moments. We get this one life to be ourselves, to be this unique person, to be this character in this story called life. And I fully believe that we have the opportunity to design it each and every day with our thoughts and our intentions and how we move, how we choose to interact with one another and with the spaces that we hold so dear. And so for you, my dear beautiful soul, I send my gratitude for sharing this space today and for allowing me to share a bit of my story with you. I hope that you leave this feeling inspired and motivated to follow your own dreams and to know that you too can reach the heights that your heart so desires, and to find the inspiration within yourself to know that you have everything it takes to achieve these dreams and that you are more than worthy of aligning with them. Namaste. Have a beautiful day.